Congratulations, students. Now you all are in 7th. So let's start studying integers. This is your first chapter in class 7th. Though you all are very well aware of the topic. So I will just start from a bit of introduction. Then we'll go through different properties of integers. And then we will have operations. That is, I hope you all will be able to solve the problems. Before studying integers, we must know about few other kind of numbers. As you can see on this slide, they are natural numbers, whole numbers, negative numbers. Now what are natural numbers? These numbers are countable numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. We use these numbers to count something. The second is whole numbers. When 0 along with natural number is there, then we call it as whole number. Then comes negative numbers. These numbers carry minus sign before them. They look as same as natural numbers, but they are negative because of the minus sign before them. And that is why natural numbers are also called positive numbers, because they are opposites of negative numbers. That is, like 1 is opposite of minus 1. And all these numbers together are called integers. An integer is a number that can be greater or less than 0. The number which is greater than 0 is called positive integer, and the number which is less than 0 is called negative integer. As you can see in the number line, the negative numbers are at the left side of 0 and the positive numbers are at the right side of 0. Now, as we have discussed earlier, that the number which are at the left side of 0 are negative integers and they are less than 0, and the number which are at the right side of the 0 are positive numbers and they are greater than 0. The more we go towards left, the number decreases, and the more we go towards right, the number increases. On that basis, let's arrange these numbers given here in ascending order, that is in increasing order. Now as you can see, minus 7 is comparatively at the extreme left side of the 0, so it will be the smallest number. Then in that order comes minus 5, then minus 1, then 0, and then 3. That means 3 is the greatest of all. Now you have used number line for adding two integers, and here also I have given one example of that. When minus 3 and minus 1 are added, then how will you do it? First you will start from 0 and go towards the left side because this is a negative integer. Then after minus 3 you jump 1 unit, minus 1. And you can see that the final number which comes after adding is minus 4. Now with the help of number line, you have done the addition and subtraction of integers in your previous class. So I just want to discuss it here also to recapitulate that. On a number line, when we add an integer which is positive, we move towards the right. As you can see here, when 3 is added to 2, we move towards 5, which is at the right side of 2. When we add a negative integer, we move towards the left. That is, when minus 5 is added to minus 2, we get minus 7, and minus 7 is at the left side of minus 2. When we subtract a positive integer, we move towards the left. When 6 is subtracted with 8, we get minus 2. And minus 2 is at the left side of 6. When we subtract a negative integer, we move towards the right. When minus 4 is subtracted from with minus 7, we get 3. And 3 is at the right side of minus 4. This is a rule which we often encounter while doing addition or subtraction work on the number line. Now in class 7, you have to add or subtract directly without using number line. In that case, you have to remember two very important things. The first, if the two numbers have the same sign, either positive or negative, then add the two numbers and give the composite. As you can see here, when two positive numbers are added, we get the positive sign, and when two negative numbers are added, we get the negative sign. Okay. Now in second condition, if the two numbers have different sign like positive and negative, then subtract the two numbers and give the sign of the bigger number. As you can see here, if the bigger number is minus and the smaller number is plus, that is positive, then the sign the final number will get is of negative. Okay, we will do the subtraction here because the integers are unlike. One is negative and the other one is positive. So subtraction will be done, but the sign the final number will carry depends on the sign of a bigger number. I hope you have understood this. Now moving on to next slide, that is properties of addition and subtraction. First of all, we will look into closer under addition property. When two integers are added together, we get an integer. As you can see in the picture, there are 5 balls which are added to 7 balls, they get together 12. Both are integers and the sum we get is also an integer. So we say that integers are closed under addition. That is, two integers a and b, when added together, then a plus b is also an integer. Similarly, we can say closure under subtraction. When two integers are subtracted, the number we get is also an integer. As you can see here, when 4 is subtracted from 6, we get 2, where 2 is also a positive integer. 6 and 4 are also integers. So integers are said to be closed under subtraction. In general, for any two integers a and b, a minus b is also an integer. Now, commutative property of an integer. Suppose previously you have 10 rupees and I have given 20 more. Then how much money in totality you have now? 30, right? And what if you have 20 previously and I have given 10? Then also you have 30. In both the cases, the total amount of money is not going to change. That is, it doesn't matter previously what you have and what now you have. Similarly, in case of integers also, when we add two integers, it doesn't matter what is the order of addition. Whether a is added to b or b is added to a, the sum will remain same. And this property is called commutative. Let's understand this property with some other examples. Suppose minus 7 is added to minus 8. Then we get minus 15. But when minus 8 is added to minus 7, the sum is again minus 15. So in both the cases, the sum remains same. That is why we say that addition is commutative for integers. But what if two integers are subtracted? Let's see an example. When minus 6 is subtracted from 5, we get 11. But when minus 5 is subtracted from minus 6, we get minus 11. Are they same? No. There it is 11 and here it is minus 11. They both are unequal. Hence we conclude that subtraction is not commutative for integers. There is one more property which is called associative property. This applies when we add more than two integers. Let's have an example. Like minus 3, minus 5 and minus 10 are added together. Then will it make a difference when orders of the arrangement will change? Let's see. When minus 5 is added with the sum of minus 3 and minus 10, we get minus 18. But when minus 10 is added with the sum of minus 5 and minus 3, we get again minus 18. That means, irrespective of arrangement, the sum will remain same. So whenever three integers a, b and c are added in such a way that when a is added to b or c, or a, b is added to c, the sum remains same, then it is called associative property of an integer. Now, when we add 0 to any whole number, we get the same number. And same is the case with integers also. That is, 0 is a kind of number which doesn't change the identity of a number which is added to it. For example, in the first case, as you can see, when 0 is added to -4, we get -4 meaning. The identity of -4 is as it is not changed. That is why 0 is called additive identity. Similarly, in the second question, when -6 is added to 0, we again get -6 without any change. Similarly, when 2 is added to 0, we get 2. So we can sum up in general that whenever an integer is added to 0, we get the same integer. Now here I have given you 3 questions. What will be the number added to -8 so that we will get -8? Exactly, it will be 0. Now in the fifth, what number will be added to 0 so that we will get -34? -34, right? In sixth, there are 2 blanks and 0 is added at the left hand side to the number which we have to find. Now here we are free to give any number. Just one thing has to be kept in mind, that both the numbers will be same because the number is getting added with 0. So the identity will never change. So students, we have all learned the concept of addition and subtraction of integers. So I have prepared some assignment for you. There are a few questions, very short answers type question, and two number marks questions are there. So kindly go through it, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me and we will further together solve the problem you are having while doing this problems. Okay. Now, at the last but not the least, there is an activity. I hope you all will enjoy doing this. There are 9 pieces of triangles in which different subtraction and addition operations of integers are given. You have to solve them and you have to arrange them so that a big triangle can be formed. Then what is the rule of doing that? You have to arrange those triangles in such a way so that each edge has the same answer facing each other. Okay, the rule is given here also, you can go through it, and all the best. Thank you.